Mid-careers are a special lot. They not only believe in public service, but have done it, and are back for more. In that spirit, we would like to offer you some public service here, because a lot of you have been tired and sitting, so a 30-second stretch break. Please stand up, stretch a little bit. All right, that's enough. Thank you. Public service. On behalf of the mid-careers, this speech is dedicated to our parents, whose children, like me, at times take them for granted, even though we know that we would not exist if it were not for them and their love. So when I first got here, I was continuously asked by my family and friends, so what's it like being at Harvard? I used to tell them, imagine a thirsty man is wandering in the middle of a desert, and all of a sudden he gets to drink from a fire hose. I'm not sure how much I was getting in, but boy am I excited. One of the first exercises that Harvard asked us to do was to write a letter to ourselves. What did we want to learn? What did we want to accomplish in our time here? How did we want to change the world, and why? Heavy stuff. Recently, I was forced to read the letter again and reflect. Let me share some of my disappointments with you. Like many of you, I came here to find answers for my people, the ones I left back home. Instead, I was asked to lead them through questions and not answers. Like you, I came here to find out how I could serve them better. But I learned instead that my primary responsibility was to frustrate them enough so that they could lead themselves without me. And like many of you, I came here to refuel my passion projects. But instead, I was forced to review past successes and study the real aftermath, and sometimes bloodbaths that were caused because of me and my idealism bulldozed on others. We came here to be persuasive, but learned how dangerous persuasion can be, no matter how well-intentioned. We wanted to sharpen our skills of influence, but instead were taught how to be more conscious about our very own selves and the loyalties, biases, and baggage that drive us. I wanted to sell my nation the concept of democracy, wanted to change the company I ran by learning more about corporate governance and its best practices. Later, I find out that there is no real empirical evidence that links best practices of corporate governance to actual shareholder or even profit performance. The uncertainty continued on top of that when I find out also that there is no correlation. There is no correlation between democracy and economic or even social outputs. I was devastated. Halfway through, some of us thought about quitting, or worse, going to Yale University. This is not what we came here for. We didn't sign up to accumulate more doubts and debts and insecurity about the way the world works or the way it should work, or did we? I was in this one class, probably one of the most popular and insightful Kennedy School classes, by this infamous professor who's renowned not only for the philosophy that he teaches, but the obnoxious way he teaches it. Most of which I had just not been buying. Towards the end of the last lecture he had given, just finished with this soliloquy, and mesmerizing. And all of us were buying it mostly, but I couldn't buy some of it. And so petrified, but I raised my hand and I said, "Professor, I am confused." The professor became still. The class became silent. Slowly he moves towards me. "MIR, that may be progress for you." Yes, people laughed then as well. But then it hits me. The power of confusion can and should be celebrated. The celebration of doubt can help us see things better, with fresher eyes and open curiosity in a beginner's mind and heart. Imagine if Al-Qaeda became confused about the United States, recognize the good that it has done throughout the world with its value of entrepreneurship, education, and freedom of speech. Imagine if we could get confused about the intentions of extremists and wonder if they want something else other than to take away our way of life and our freedom. Imagine if the Arabs and the Jews became more confused about who is the chosen one and what is the chosen path. Imagine if more countries, including China and my Pakistan, became confused about outputs and processes, where democracy starts becoming more valuable because human beings are social and moral creatures that do not just care about what they get, but how they get it. Imagine if the Republicans agreed to be confused about Democrats. Or better, imagine if the Kennedy School more confused about Republicans. Imagine if that same degree of confusion and deliberation that was witnessed in the US Congress on healthcare reform was also shown by this, in every nation for that matter, when it thinks about sending its children to war. The premise of confusion has more potential in bringing peace and prosperity than most think. The audacity sometimes is when we are too sure. Together, we have learned about two confusions. One that leads to doubt and inaction, and the other, more positive kind, that leads to pause, reflection, and better action. It is the second kind that helps us become smarter troublemakers. Yes, smarter troublemakers. At the end, what more could Harvard Kennedy School ask from us? And what more could we ask from ourselves? So as we go back out into the real world, let's promise to look at it with more naivete and be more comfortable with our discomfort. As we graduate with our degrees of confusion in hand, all $80,000 worth of degrees of confusion in hand, let us at least be proud that we have been confused by none other than Harvard. It has been a pleasure, I think.
How lovely to get to follow that.